they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
Everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. It's your daily show. Some tidbits of information that have come over in the last sort of 24 hours. Obviously, it's kind of Declan Rice free zone, but there will be implications. Obviously, everything that's going on with Declan Rice. But there's some rumours and news that I want to sort of keep you guys up to date with. If you like what we do, don't forget to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Let's start with the first one, and that is West Ham apparently made contact with Juventus for a possibility of signing former Chelsea loanee Dennis Zakaria. That's according to Fabrizio Romano to Twitter yesterday, to say West Ham have been one of the clubs basically asking for information about Dennis. The 26-year-old returned to Italy following a unsuccessful loan spell in West London, and the Hammers are apparently one of several clubs interested in him. I mean, he said on his Twitter that we understand West Ham are among clubs interested in Dennis. He's back to Juventus after Chelsea loan. West Ham asked for information on the conditions of the deal, but there are many clubs in the race. Zakaria is not in Juventus's plan for next year. We saw glimpses during his time at Chelsea of what the player can do. I mean, I think given game time, he could be really good. He's a good age and has still time to develop. He's 26. He's just about to come in to that sort of purple patch of his career. Obviously, he made his name back in Germany, the Bundesliga, before moving to Juventus. Didn't quite work out for him at Juventus. It was on a free transfer, I believe. He was out of contract, and obviously Chelsea took him out on loan. And he's played at some big clubs, and I think getting some minutes under his belt will get his career back on track, that's for sure. Juventus have got a lot of financial problems, same as a lot of other sides in Serie A, so could provide Hammers with a boost in terms of trying to get him a good deal, if there's a deal to be done. And there's no denying he's a top midfielder on his day. And I think it might seem a bit random, the Dennis Zakaria link, but I don't think it seems random when you look at the next story. Dennis Zakaria made his name in the Bundesliga. Now, according to several sources, including Jacob Steinberg, amongst others, West Ham are looking to appoint Tim Steidten as the director of football imminently. And the reason why I think there's two and two together is he spent his whole time in terms of his playing career, and actually not his playing career, he was at Seattle Sounders for a little bit, but his whole time in football, bar like a little bit of time in the MLS, in Germany, in the Bundesliga. And so apparently he's set to join the club very, very shortly, with his number one priority being finding Declan Rice's replacement in midfield. Apparently we've had an exhaustive and thorough process to find the right candidate. And this has been apparently overseen also by Moisey and by Rob Newman. So he would come in alongside Rob Newman and sort of be the go-between between the board and Rob Newman and Moisey. We've interviewed and we've looked at likes of Thiago Pinto from Roma, Lee Dykes from Brentford, Raul Pedro from Benfica. We've got even people like Johan Langwell from Aston Villa. But apparently a deal to appoint the former Bayer Leverkusen has been agreed, and his arrival is expected to be made official in the coming days. And apparently his arrival will see Mark Noble's transition into a slight variation of his current role. So at the moment he's sporting director. I would imagine he would end up taking up more time in the academy pathway. So I could see Mark not necessarily being the sporting director, but maybe academy director. There will be a slight adjustment to his role because he has been out. So I'm sure he'll be still scouting for Tim as well, and for Rob. But that's why I think the Dennis Zakaria thing, I could see it happening. Another player we have been linked with throughout most of the last few months is the French international midfielder Matteo Guendouzi, formerly of Arsenal. And apparently, according to the Keep claims the club Marseille, his current club, are literally waiting for the call from David Sullivan to sell Guendouzi to West Ham instead of Aston Villa. The Athletics' David Ornstein claimed last month that West Ham boss wanted to bring him back to the Premier League, and David Ornstein has a good track record. And it's the likes of the Keep claim that Moyes saw Matteo as one of the potential replacements for Declan Rice. Now, apparently, it's basically said that the Marseille team are waiting for him, are waiting for West Ham to basically offer the money. And he can go. It claims the club are literally waiting for a call from Sullivan. In a new report, the French outlet has acknowledged the existence of interest from West Ham and Villa in the player, but it states that West Ham are now leading the chase with an expected move as soon as Rice is sold. That deal could go through in the coming days. As the race for Rice. I was trying to make it a Declan Rice free zone for 5 minutes, but it hots up, and obviously with Tim potentially coming in as well, there does seem to be a groundswell of rumours coming to a head. That makes sense. I think the fact that West Ham are said to be in the pole position is counterbalanced with the fact that Aston Villa have moved quite early to secure the free transfer of Euro Tillemans, which is a fantastic signing. And so Guendouzi, he left Arsenal as a boy, but we'd returned back to the Premier League as a man, a lot better player, a lot more assured. I think he was a little bit temperamental when he was at Arsenal, but he's come in and been the cornerstone for Marseille and also for the French international side as well. So, and again, we've got quite a few French players and French-speaking players as well, and players who have played in League R, the likes of Paqueta, the likes of Aguerd, obviously the likes of Emerson, Areola, his French counterpart as well. So, I could see a couple of positive things coming out of that one, to be honest. And lastly, let's talk about James Ward-Prowse. So there was reports on Wednesday night that Southampton wanted Flynn Downs. They're interested in Flynn Downs. And apparently Flynn Downs could be used as a pawn, so to speak, in a Southampton swap deal for the Southampton midfielder and captain James Ward-Prowse. According to X, he said on his Patreon, at the moment, the price for James Ward-Prowse, considering his age, is too high for West Ham's estimation, and they attempt to negotiate a lower fee. It's that Flynn Downs, who's made 7 Premier League starts last year, could be made as a make weight. Could be offered as a make weight to the Saints, who are relegated obviously to the Championship. Obviously, they've just and the reason why, again, 2 and 2 together is Southampton have just appointed the Swansea manager, Russell Martin. Swansea was Flynn's team, and they enjoyed a great relationship. And obviously, Downs is, certain managers and players have good, understanding. You see the whole thing with Moisey and Jesse Lingard, for example. They've got a relationship together, so to speak, on the field relationship, I meant. And that's the same with Flynn and Martin. So I could see them him wanting him in his fold. He knows what he's going to bring. And so, I mean, the fact of the matter is, also, it was believed that Mark Warburton was instrumental in getting him, Flynn, to sign for West Ham over Crystal Palace. He's obviously left now as well. We are looking at Ward-Prowse. He's too much money. So if it means that, Flynn at the best is a fringe player at the moment, and he needs to be playing first team football. I think he would do a fantastic job at Southampton. When he was playing for Swansea, he was the top pass completion rate a midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues. Something ridiculous like that. Anyway, so he would go and do a great job, and I think if it means that we can maybe flip him, so to speak, with money in for Ward-Prowse, reduce the fee, I don't think it's a bad deal, to be honest. Don't think that's a bad deal. And that's it, my friends. Thank you very, very much for your time. Little early daily news for you. Keep it on the channel. Any updates with and all that stuff. Any appointments of technical directors and whatnot, will bring you the news as soon as it breaks. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Keep the faith. Much love. Bye.